Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay's your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do.
Yeah. Are you scared for your life? It's unfortunate that you were shot at. I'm glad that you were okay from that. Do you think that was a situation where you were targeted? And if so, are you scared for your life?
No, I'm not scared for my life. I mean, it was a scary situation.
And let's get this straight. A federal judge ordered Jay-Z to take a paternity test. Straight up told him to handle it. But just 2 days after that court order dropped, Rymir's car got sprayed with bullets. Yeah, you heard that right. His ride got lit up, holes everywhere, and just 48 hours after the legal heat got real.
I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just asking everybody, all the judges or anybody who's working on the case to do what's right and do their job the correct way, even if you overlook something or didn't see something. Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before, but it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct.
Coincidence? No way. That's not random. That's a warning shot. A loud message. Back off, or you're next. This ain't no petty baby drama. We're talking high-stakes moves, legal warfare, media silence, and $1 billion empire trying to bury a truth that could blow it all to pieces. Now let's rewind it. Back to 1992. Jay-Z allegedly had a quick fling with a 16-year-old girl named Wanda Satterthwaite. But in the streets, folks knew her as Precious. It wasn't no fairy tale, just a one-night situation. She said they used protection, but that broke. Boom, she got pregnant.
My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling Jay-Z, and I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but this was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father.
She tried reaching out to Jay afterward, but he vanished like smoke. No social media back then, no DMS, no smartphones. He was gone, and she had no way to track him down. She was still a teen herself when she gave birth, just 16 years old, unconscious in that hospital bed. And that's when her boyfriend at the time, Robert Graves, stepped up. People around Wanda say Robert knew the baby wasn't his, but he signed that birth certificate anyway. Why? To get extra government help. Food stamps, welfare, benefits, all that. That move, it caused nothing but chaos for years. When Rymir hit 8 years old, Wanda finally sat him down, told him the truth she'd been carrying for so long. Jay-Z is your father. And she never changed up. Her story stayed the same. No shaking, no stuttering. She begged for a DNA test over and over, even offered to keep it low-key, settle things quietly behind the scenes. But Jay, nothing, not a word. Dead silent. And still, Wanda kept pressing. She wasn't backing down, ever. Wanda went through pure hell for answers. Lawyers bailed. Judges treated her like she was wasting their time. Every courtroom door slammed shut. But when she realized she might not live to see justice done, she made sure to leave something behind, something powerful.
Information to keep the case going, so it was a big case to me because, I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it. I really thought it was going to go different than what it was, but I really feel like it should have been over with because, I feel like if it was anybody else, I'm not saying this because people got higher standards or people make more money than that, but it's just different because, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have had them in there way faster than people that's wealthy.
Wanda didn't just leave behind memories. She dropped a sworn affidavit straight up naming Jay-Z as Rymir's father. That document wasn't just ink on paper, it was her final shot, her last stand. In 2019, Wanda passed from heart failure. But before she took her last breath, she looked Rymir in the eyes and said, "Don't stop. The truth will come out." This wasn't some woman chasing fame or headlines. Wanda didn't care about the spotlight. She just wanted her son to know where he came from. Now Rymir's a grown man, and he's not playing. In 2014, he officially launched a civil paternity case against Jay-Z, ready to finish what his mother started. But this time, he wasn't fighting alone. His godmother and legal guardian, Lily Coley, was right there by his side. She'd been holding him down ever since Wanda's health started going downhill. But once they lit that legal fire, everything turned real shady. Jay-Z's camp didn't respond like regular folks. Nah, they allegedly went full chessboard mode, throwing up roadblocks, delay tactics, and confusion just to block one simple thing: a dang mouth swab. Let that sink in. A mouth swab. Why go to such extreme lengths just to avoid a DNA test? And then things took a twist.
You scared for your life. It's unfortunate that you were shot at. I'm glad that you were okay from that. Do you think that that was a situation where you were targeted? And if so, are you scared for your life?
No, I'm not scared for my life. I mean, it was a scary situation. It was a scary situation, but it's just unfortunate. I'm from North Philadelphia. I'm not saying I got nothing to do with it, but I saw a gunshot. I heard gunshots and saw crazy shit before. So, but it definitely was a scary situation because I never been through it. I barely come outside and I stay to myself. So it's like,
Rymir and Lily filed in New Jersey. That's where the alleged hookup happened and where Jay-Z supposedly owned property. So legally, they had every right to push for that test there. The plan was simple: show he had ties to Jersey, get the court to order the DNA test. But Jay-Z's legal squad, they hit him with a slick move that flipped the whole game. They claimed Jay-Z didn't live in New Jersey, so the state had no jurisdiction over him. Here's the catch, though. There's evidence saying otherwise. Tax documents, property receipts, business records, all suggesting Jay-Z had real roots in Jersey. He allegedly owned multiple properties there. But still, his legal team finessed the system, using a New York address to swerve the whole thing. And just like that, the entire lawsuit got tossed. But that wasn't the end. It only got darker. Lily says something straight up wild happened. While Wanda was still recovering from a coma, sedated, and laid out in a hospital bed, Jay-Z's legal team allegedly slid in with documents for her to sign. No lawyer, no full awareness, just paperwork in her face while she was barely conscious. And whatever she signed, that gave Jay-Z's camp major legal leverage, and boom, another case got shut down. Yeah, you heard right. His own lawyers. Lily says some of them might have been secretly working with Jay-Z's team behind the scenes. She claims they sabotaged the whole case, filing late, making sloppy mistakes, and fumbling the paperwork so bad it looked intentional. This wasn't just one side playing dirty. Both sides looked like they were rigging the whole game. And the courts? They didn't care. Tossed it all out. Again. Every time Rymir and Lily tried to dig deeper, they ran straight into sealed records, denied access, and dead ends. Over and over. All this effort, all these blockades, just to stop one thing: a simple mouth swab. Think about that. If Jay-Z isn't the father, why work this hard to avoid one little DNA test? Let's be real. This isn't just about a paternity result. That swab could expose something way bigger. If the test proves Jay-Z is Rymir's biological dad, it drops a nuclear truth. He allegedly had a baby with a 16-year-old girl. And depending on the timeline and state, that could slide into statutory territory. Now that's not just bad press, that's legal heat. So the real question is, was he dodging a baby claim or burying a deeper issue from his past? Even when Rymir tried to take it up the ladder.
In September, he was in the parking lot with other people near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on, because it was around the time. In addition to that, we've had people come to my home in the past, driving on the grass. We have people knocking on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been through all of it, mostly around the filing time. So this is a bigger picture than this. We want to try to make a difference with the Pro Se Act or the Legal Abuse Act, bringing new legislation and trying to sit down at the table with the lawmakers to make a difference.
Filing motions with the Supreme Court to unseal old files. Boom. Denied. Not because his claims were wrong, but because they said it was outside their jurisdiction. Every road slammed shut, like someone was determined to keep this truth locked down. But then, everything flipped. A federal judge finally stepped up and dropped a heavy ruling. Jay-Z had to respond to the paternity suit. And here's what nobody was shouting about. Under New Jersey law, if Jay-Z refused to answer, he'd be legally declared Rymir's father by default. No more disappearing. No more ducking the courts. It was crunch time. Take the test or get locked in as the father for life. And right after that order hit on July 18th, chaos exploded like a scene straight out of a movie. In September 2023, just weeks later, Rymir got shot at in his own driveway. It wasn't some random street mess either. There were other people around, the parking lot was full, but only Rymir's car got lit up. How does that make sense? Lily Coley backed it all up on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, said it felt like straight up retaliation, and she wasn't speculating, she sounded shook. And this wasn't even the first threat.
Crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, this collusion. Who knows what it's for? Money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong but come here, tell you guys the truth, put our life on the line.
Lily says she and Rymir had been stalked, followed, and straight up threatened for years while trying to bring the truth out. And every time they got close to forcing that DNA test, the pressure turned up. The threats got louder. The vibe got darker. But here's where it all goes, way left. Lily claims they believe Beyonce herself got involved behind the curtain. Yeah, that Beyonce. According to her, it felt like Queen Bee was working in the shadows, pulling strings to protect the Carter empire, no matter the cost. Word on the street? Beyonce didn't just want Rymir silenced, she allegedly wanted him erased, quietly, permanently. Not because she thought he was making it up, but because if the truth ever came out, it could punch a crater-sized hole in their billion-dollar image. That's what Lily's saying. Beyonce wasn't about to let anything put a dent in the Carter legacy. She allegedly wanted the whole thing buried before the press got wind of it. At one point, Jay-Z's team floated the idea of bringing Rymir into Roc Nation, maybe trying to play it cool, keep him close, but the second Beyonce found out about it, boom, offer gone, vanished like it never even existed. And then came the shade. Jay-Z dropped a line in his music that wasn't just slick, it was personal. Real, personal. He rapped, "Heard about us singing Billie Jean in his prime for the 1000th time? The kid ain't mine. Online they call me dad kiddingly. You're not supposed to take this dad thing literally." Come on. He wasn't aiming that at some random gossip blog. That was a direct shot at Rymir, who'd been trying to get a DNA test for over a decade. But Rymir didn't stay quiet. He fired back with a track of his own, putting his pain on the beat. In the song, he rapped, "Ninjas washed up, still doing tracks like 55. Where you at? Need to go back to your old days. Grown man in his old ways." He made it clear, this wasn't just music. This was his way of taking back his voice.
Williams explained how Jay-Z has a secret baby by Free from 106 in Park. Now, we know Wendy Williams always kept us rolling with the tea, and Wendy Williams was the first person to expose that Jay-Z had a secret baby by Free. She explained how she was told that Jay-Z and 50 Cent were in the delivery room when Free had her baby. And we know that there have been rumors for years that Jay-Z had a secret baby by Free, and how she was allegedly paid off to keep quiet, and that's why she disappeared from 106 in Park, and we've never heard from her again. And honestly, these rumors of Jay-Z having these secret babies back then were huge. There was like 5 different women back then that were rumored to have children with Jay-Z. And yes, when all of this was going on, he was with Beyonce.
If Jay-Z was going to use billion-dollar studio bars to brush him off, then Rymir had every right to speak his truth on a beat too. By that point, things weren't just tense. They were dangerous. Lily and Rymir started documenting everything. Photos with timestamps, names, strange cars, drive-by moments, and every threat they caught. They knew they weren't just fighting for answers anymore. They were fighting to stay safe. They weren't playing anymore. Rymir and Lily sat down with Tasha K, then took their story public on Hip Hop Uncensored, and they aired out everything. At that point, if anything happened to them, at least the truth would already be out there. This wasn't just about a DNA test anymore. Rymir was up against a whole system, a machine that looked more concerned with guarding Jay-Z's image than giving real justice. And the deeper they went, the uglier it got. 6 different judges had their hands on this case over the years, and somehow, not one forced Jay-Z to take that test. How does that even make sense?
Really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life.
So in 2023, Rymir and Lily clapped back hard. They hit the New Jersey court system with a new lawsuit. Not against Jay-Z directly this time, but against the judges they claimed helped cover everything up. Yeah, they accused the courts themselves of fraud, obstruction of justice, and violating their civil rights. Because now, it wasn't just about proving paternity. It was about exposing a system they believed was rigged from the start. Rymir laid it all out in a raw, emotional video, straight from the heart. He was done playing nice. And when he tried to unseal records from those early court hearings, the Supreme Court shut him down again. Not because the request didn't make sense, but because they once again claimed they had no jurisdiction. But here's the wild part. Under New Jersey law, if someone refuses to take a paternity test and there's enough supporting evidence, the court can legally presume that person is the father. So technically, Jay-Z could have already been listed as Rymir's legal dad years ago, but the courts never enforced it. Now we're talking 14 years. 14 years of legal fights, emotional stress, court costs, and silence from the media. All for what? One DNA test, one answer. It's starting to look like this wasn't just mishandled. It was deliberately sabotaged to keep Jay-Z's name clean and protect a billion-dollar legacy from falling apart in the public eye. And it's just wild, like really wild. Rymir and Lily put their lives on the line to bring this truth out. Because let's be honest, if this ever hits a courtroom, this isn't just a paternity case anymore. Not in today's world. We're living in a post-R. Kelly era. If Jay-Z ends up in court tied to claims that he fathered a child with a girl who was underage at the time, this explodes into a full-blown public relations disaster instantly. This could turn into a full-blown media firestorm. Jay-Z's whole legacy, 2 decades of silence, sealed records, ghost addresses, threats, and legal chess moves, shaken. And now the pressure's finally hit for real. He's got until July 18th to answer that federal court order. If he skips out again, the law will automatically recognize him as Rymir's father. No more games. No more disappearing acts. But wait, that's not all that's buzzing behind the scenes. Another rumor's been creeping back up, and it might explain why Jay-Z's been working so hard to keep this all buried. Word on the street? Rymir might not be the only secret child. Yeah, allegedly, there's a daughter out there, older than Rymir, from another hookup way back in the early 90s. But unlike Rymir, she never went public. Why? Because insiders say Jay-Z paid her off. Quiet money behind the scenes. And get this, one content creator even said Wendy Williams called him out on it years ago. If that's true, that changes everything. Now we're looking at a pattern. Deny the child, fund the silence. So here's the real question. If he helped keep another alleged child quiet, Why go so hard to crush Rymir? Maybe it's because of two things. One, Wanda was underage when it happened. Two, Rymir spoke up. That combo? That's a time bomb. That's not just messy, it's dangerous. And at this point, it might be too late to clean it all up. Rymir said it 1,000 times. He's not chasing a payday. All he wants is the truth. But now, Lily's lawsuit just got bigger. They're not just asking for a DNA test anymore. They want the whole thing. Punitive damages, a full unsealing of every locked court file, an official jury trial, and most explosive of all, they're demanding a criminal investigation into whether the courts were protecting Jay-Z behind the scenes. This ain't just a family dispute anymore. This could blow wide open. If this case moves forward, it might set off a chain reaction. Lawsuits, more exposure, and maybe even more alleged secret children coming forward. And if Beyonce was really involved behind the curtain, this wouldn't just be gossip, it'd be a full-on brand meltdown. We're talking about a power couple that built a billion-dollar image off perfection, privacy, and control. But this is the one scandal they haven't been able to bury. Because now, it's not just rumors. This is real court action, real documents, real consequences. Rymir is still stuck in limbo, no answers, no closure. But one thing's for sure, he's not giving up. He's ready to go the distance, even if it takes the rest of his life. So if you're watching this and you want the truth to come out, like this video, drop a comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to see it. This story is far from over, and we'll see you in the next one.